if we want to start a family, you kind of have to retire because there's no coming back from that. But I think that's something that really needs to change in South Africa, and we've already started the conversation with Cricket South Africa, and how everybody can accommodate each other. And
well, this Women's Month, Bright Rock continues to bring you this fantastic series of women changing the game, some of the shining and leading lights in South African sports. This time around, we're chatting to Proteas all-rounder, and that is Suné Luus. Suné, so good to have you as a part of this series. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
So good, and really honored to get you on board and to be chatting to you and hear about your unbelievable life story. First of all, I mean, you're an absolute icon and you're such an inspiration to many. So thank you so much for continuing to shine and leading the way for so many other women that are coming through the ranks.
No, thank you so much. It's a great honor to be on the show and very excited for it.
Tell us a little about your particular career. It's a very interesting one in terms of how it is that you got started in cricket. How did that happen?
Yeah, so my dad was a mini cricket coach back in the day, and my older brother played mini cricket as well. And that's just where I really fell in love with the game, spending time with my dad and my brother, and just hitting the balls around. And I think, beating the guys there, that's really where the love for the game just grew.
And tell us about the position when you started playing cricket, because you kind of found your style and you found your perfect position through many different tournaments and many different competitions, and hence you were called the Wildcard. So you were always ready to play in any order, to play any position. Tell us about that.
I think Wildcard definitely sums it up. When the coach says, we want you at 3 today, and the next day we want you at 5 or 6. That's kind of where I have to be ready. And I've kind of, adapted to the role of being a wild card. And I think that's just gone into my life as well. I'm kind of a wild card in my, my day-to-day life as well.
You've had so many great achievements and wonderful honors. What would you think really stands out for you so far in your career?
Definitely the World Cup last year in Australia, the T20 World Cup, especially for women in sport, that just, blew up entirely. Watching the final, there was about 80,000 people at the final. And I think that was really a highlight in my career where we definitely saw change.
So you saw the big change there when it comes to how women's cricket is being perceived. Lots of changes as well in your career. We've seen it with so many cricketers, changing their bowling or their batting style. You're one of those as well. Why do you see that in a cricketer's career where they change their style so often? And how do you adapt as well to the changes?
Cricket is an ever-changing sport, and your role in your team, wherever you play around the world, will change, the whole time. So you have to be able to adapt to, T20 cricket and 50-over cricket, and adapt to your different roles in cricket, maybe opening the batting to batting down the order. So I think that's definitely something you just have to adapt and train often as you can.
So now you'll find a lot of people, though, that get very scared of change. I mean, when Jacques Rudolph said, listen, today you're going to do leg spinning, for example. You embraced that and you adapted to that, and you became really amazing as a leg spinner.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was too young to realize what was happening and, the changes. But I think it's always good to try different things and see what works for you and what doesn't. And luckily, at the time, Jacques Rudolph saw an opportunity to impart his skill onto me, and that was leg spin. And luckily, it just worked.
Let's talk a little bit about your teammates and those particular tours, just the dynamics between you and your teammates. How do you get along with them?
Yeah, no, I have great relationships in the team. Some of the girls, we grew up together. So it's really just amazing to see how everybody has grown, throughout their life, where they are, the different stages. One of my best friends, Mignon Dupree, soon she wants to start a family, so that's going to be really exciting to have a baby on tour.
That's the difference, right? When it comes to women in sports, is that like you said, with Mignon, you come to a time when you now need to focus on, family and trying to juggle that within your professional playing career. Without a doubt, it's so much tougher for women in sports, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think something we're still struggling at the moment in South Africa. We don't have, the opportunities to take a year off, fall pregnant. I think that's really been a struggle for us. But luckily, other countries like New Zealand and Australia and England are really taking, the strides forward. And I think they're setting an example for countries like South Africa. So I think that definitely the conversation needs to happen as to, how we can go about it without losing our careers or without having to retire to start a family.
Tell us about, having to stand up and take and become the vice captain, for example, for your team. That must have seemed like such a daunting task and such a major challenge. Tell us about how you embraced that and how you overcame what could have seemed like so daunting and so scary.
Luckily, I've been captain for my provincial team for a very long time. So I've kind of been in the role for a long time. But I think, stepping up onto the international stage and having to take the role of captaincy, I think that comes with a lot of pressure. But luckily, I have a lot of teammates that really supported me when I had to do that. And, our management was also very supportive. So I think after every game, I sat down with some players and most of the management to just chat about, what can I do better in the next game or, what I can continue doing. So I think they really helped in that regard.
Well, we're excited that you said you still have a couple of years before you hit your peak. So we still have a wonderful opportunity to enjoy you and watching you out there on the field, just continuing to set those records and make us so proud.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully another 10 good years under my belt. And if we get the whole accommodating the families, then maybe another 15 years. You never know.
Happy Women's Month, Suné. Keep winning.
Thank you. Thank you so much to you guys too.
That was an unbelievable story there, just hearing the wonderful career of Suné Luus. Till next time, when we continue showcasing women that change the game, remember to play the bounce, play the moment, and love change.